Yeah, I have just faced so much in the last 12 months as a human being.
Hmm.
I think now I'm ready for anything in life. I have lost both my parents in the last 12 months. I have had to face with the delay of this film.
Hmm.
मैंने शांति से अच्छे साफ सुथरी अच्छी फिल्म बनाई है and I will hope that people see from that point of view.
In his career of just over a decade, Anshuman Jha has proven his versatility not just as an actor but as a producer as well, by being a part of stories that have made a difference to the world. And he's all set to bring yet another heart-moving story with Hum Bhi Akele Tum Bhi Akele on May 9th to India. So welcome Anshuman to Spotboy. First of all, tell
Thank
us
you.
something about the film that you think the audience needs to know before they go and see it on Hotstar this week.
हम भी अकेले तुम भी अकेले is a film that talks about acceptance. It's a humane film about compassion. It's a film about how we need to realize all of us are the same. We have short spans of time on this planet, and we should not waste it bickering and putting things in bracket
Hmm.
because we are nobody to uh, decide rights and wrongs. We can only be accepting, and the film kind of promotes that through a very simple, loving story about a beautiful friendship between two human beings. Now,
Yeah.
those two human beings could have been two heterosexuals, it could have been two girls, it could have been two guys. It just so
Hmm.
happens that in the film, there is a guy and a girl, and they are both homosexuals.
Yeah.
So instead of trying to look at it as a different way,
Hmm.
we are saying treat this like a normal film because that's exactly what it is. And we need to start accepting stories from a human level instead of a
Hmm.
divisive point of view.
Yeah. True. That's the need of the art. That's the thing. Yeah. So your film has done rounds of festivals before coming to India. So how has the
Right.
reception been in the international film circuit for?
Well, I was very grateful and we were very rushed when we premiered in New York
Hmm.
at the HBO South Asian International Film Festival.
Yeah.
We had a full house, and out of that, nearly 40% of the audience was the LGBTQ community, New York
Hmm.
being the LGBTQ capital of the world.
Hmm.
So it was, for me, it was also a challenge and one I was really looking forward to because I
Hmm.
knew if the film works there, we've done something right. And luckily, about 98% of the community loved the film,
Yeah.
which is a great. I was expecting about a 60 or 80%,
Hmm.
thumbs up ratio. So that
Hmm.
was very satisfying. And New York was great. Australia, IFFM, Melbourne was beautiful. We were the centerpiece film there.
Hmm.
We couldn't go there because of the pandemic, uh, but the reactions were phenomenal. Kashish, which is Asia's biggest LGBTQ film festival, again,
Hmm.
because a lot of people from the community saw the film, it was very satisfying
Hmm.
because we are not claiming to have made the perfect film, but the intent is very pure. We've tried to tell a very pure story with characters who are human and characters who are flawed. Like all of us
Hmm.
are flawed. You, me, everyone has imperfections.
Yeah.
This film celebrates the community. It celebrates uh, friendship. It
Hmm.
celebrates the love in friendship. And luckily, Ashish, everybody saw that.
Yeah.
Uh, Yesterday, Onir, who's always been a voice from the
Yeah.
community,
Hmm.
he tweeted yesterday saying that he loved the trailer and he's looking forward to it. So I'm very grateful that
Hmm.
everybody, like I said, this is a film for everybody.
Everybody.
And yeah, at Rajasthan, I was because the majority of the viewing population was from Jaipur. I
Hmm.
was again that was my gauge for the Indian audience reaction,
Hmm.
and I was very grateful that people. We try to keep all the elements. There's music, there is fun, uh, and that's the thing. Yeah, कहानियां होती हैं. Stories need to just connect with you, and we've
Hmm.
tried to tell a very emotional story about discovering the love and friendship.
Yeah.
That's what the film's about, and festivals have been very kind with that.
Yeah. True. So the film faced quite a delay in release when it came to India because
Right.
of the pandemic and everything, the situation.
Yeah.
So, as a producer and as an actor, what was going through your mind when you were facing all these delays?
Yeah, I have just faced so much in the last 12 months as a human being.
Hmm.
I think now I'm ready for anything in life. I have lost both my parents in the last 12 months. I have had to face with the delay of this film. Um, and it has kind of taught me that good things happen in their own time. So
Hmm.
you should not. And honestly, Akash, I was very confident of the product we've made.
Hmm.
And the festivals had such a solid reaction. I knew that
Yeah.
if I keep faith in it will get the deserving platform. The
Hmm.
honest reason for the delay was the fact that we didn't get a censor.
Hmm.
So we were going to in Feb, but the India cut was not ready in Feb.
Hmm.
So we pushed it June because June is LGBTQ month. Uh,
Yeah.
and then what happened was the censor didn't come on the 1st of March. They
Hmm.
said we'll give it an A certificate, and it's a completely clean film. There is nothing in it to have an A certificate. So
Yeah.
we reapplied, and then the pandemic struck, so the offices shut down,
Hmm.
and basically then we had to wait till the CPFC
Yeah.
opened again, which was only in November. So we got censored in December last year, which is
Hmm.
2020.
Hmm.
So that's when we started the process. We were hoping theaters will
Hmm.
open up. Like we are all struggling with the situation in the world,
Yeah.
so we decided. And I
Hmm.
think Disney Plus Hotstar is the best platform for this film because
Hmm.
of the mood of the film. There's a warmth. There is
Yeah.
a. Uh, I think the platform has some of my favorite films. So I'm
Hmm.
just very grateful that we are getting to come on Disney Plus.
Yeah. So, like, you are now coming on OTT. You tried a lot hard to come in theaters, but the theaters were not opening. You didn't get the certificate in time and everything. So, this does this OTT release comes with a bit of kind of that regret that you couldn't make it to the theaters, or you are more thankful now that since it will get a wider reach.
I think yeah, life is about evolving with the times.
Hmm.
Those who don't evolve get stuck.
Hmm.
I love theaters. I love cinema experience. I believe in kind of going and experiencing, sitting with
Yeah.
a bunch of people in a theater. There's a whole experience to it, right?
Yeah.
But I also realize the reality that we are in now, and I think as a human being, you need to be flexible,
Hmm.
and that's how I'm accepting. Like I said, the film's about acceptance. You have to accept the
Hmm.
challenges of the times too. And I'm just very happy that the film is going to get an audience now
Yeah.
versus sitting for another 6 months hoping that things
Hmm.
will be fine. Right now, nobody knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right? It can take 6 months. Hopefully, it'll take lesser. Hopefully, it will get over in 2 months. But there is also a chance that it might take longer.
Hmm.
So instead of sitting the film and hoping with an unsure path ahead, I think OTT platforms these days give us that license, and we are very blessed
Hmm.
that we have that avenue to come out. Imagine something like this happening 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm not even saying 15 years ago, 10 years ago.
Uh,
I'm saying 10 years. That's all be job.
hmm.
So I think to have a Disney Plus Hotstar premiere and to reach out to the number of people and for the people to have the freedom to watch it whenever they want
Hmm.
is a grateful luxury that our times throw in front of us. So yeah, I am very excited and only happy about the fact that it's getting a OTT premiere. And I'm not saying this because I want to sound good. I really mean it
Hmm.
because the thing is, stories should reach people, and
Hmm.
this will reach to you now.
Hmm. Yeah. And so about the film, you worked with Zareen in this film. So how was she as a co-star for you?
Sorry.
How was Zareen as a co-star for you?
Oh, she's full of energy, lots of fun. She's very ambitious in terms of the kind of work she wants to do as an actor, which is a very
Hmm.
good thing because we again like we bracket people with our perception
Hmm.
because Zareen has done a houseful and she's done a Veer
Hmm.
and she's done a certain kind of films.
Hmm.
I think she took this as a challenge, and I think
Yeah.
it's great she's done a picture like this, because now hopefully more doors will open for her on high concept, content driven cinema. And also people will know that she's open. So for me, it was great to see an actor taking up a challenge and trying her best to uh, justice to it. And from that point of view, yeah, she's a very different actor from the way I am. I prepare a lot and then let instinct take over. She's a lot about just instinct. So it's very interesting. It's like, how do I put it? It's like Dravid and Shahid Afridi batting together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of different modes of. There'll always be interesting jugalbandi, which I'm sure you can see in the trailer. There is a kind of fun. Also, she's in reality a very fun-loving, tomboyish sort of a person, and I think Mansi's character is somewhat like that. So it really played out well for us.
Yeah. Like the end scene of the trailer kind of sums up your camaraderie in the film. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a really quirky scene, that one, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you and there are, see, that's the thing. Friendship has this beauty, right? I always say this. The beauty of friendship is there is no end game expectation, right?
Yeah.
A romantic relationship or a marriage or a sexual relationship has, there is an agenda to the end. Of course, you want it to be permanent, but boy meets girl, they fall in love, they get married, they live happily ever after. That's a template. But here, boy meets girl, and they realize they're soulmates. So then life happens. Then you're not thinking about what's going to happen. You're flowing with what's happening in life.
Yeah.
Which is what we have tried to capture through their friendship in this film.
Yeah. So, like, elaborating on that point only, Indian films have kind of accustomed the audience to think about, when it comes to love story, it's about a boy and a girl. Lately, it has changed to, okay, maybe two boys, maybe two girls, with a lot of films like Shubh Mangal Zyada Saavdhan or Ek Ladki Ko Dekha To Aisa Laga kind of films coming up. And when it comes to friendship, people remember like Dil Chahta Hai or Z and MD. The friendship comes in that bracket. So, in such an environment, such an industry, how difficult or challenging was it to develop a chemistry that has to be platonic, at the same time has to have that spark between you and Zareen, at the same time when you both are playing homosexual characters, keeping all that in
I think the credit has to go to the writing and the director, because they did a big part of that. On the writing table, I was personally involved throughout the writing process, and I think Harish Vyas, Suzanne, they've done everybody who contributed. We kept getting a lot of people from the community. So we got our friends who are either gay, or basically we got homosexuals for feedback to make sure that we are sensitive and we are not treading a line, or we are not doing something which is unnatural, or because the fact is we need first-hand advice or feedback from, because neither me nor Lisa are homosexual. So we had to be responsible from that point of view. So I think the writer and the director set up the stage on the writing table for us, which is why it took so long. It took a year, and I think films need that kind of time and development. Only then juice of the character and the story can come out. And yes, it's a challenge, to answer your question, because of the set. Like Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara is one of my favorite films.
Yeah.
So I think it's very important to remember that Bollywood historically has caricaturized homosexuality, or has made it very dark, intense, broody, comic. It's either comic, it's two ends of the spectrum. Even the film you mentioned, Shubh Mangal Zyada, was a comedy, essentially. Right? I think the film that really comes to my mind, which dealt with it in a mature way, was Shakun's film, Kapoor and Sons. Which had a very humane take about, and where you could not look at somebody and say that he's gay, or, I think that's the reality. Like, I have friends who are gay, and you can't look at them and say, oh. So I wanted to make sure, and Harish sir wanted to make sure, that we stay away from these preset templates of
Yeah.
what we have, because yeah, everyone's the same. That's what I'm saying. ये
Yeah.
आप जब तक बोलते हैं वो और हम, then you are creating the difference. It's all hum.
Yeah.
So our endeavor was to make a film about us. Now it happens to be the fact that it's a boy and a girl who are sexually oriented in a different way, but they are human beings. So we are treating the film from a human point of view instead of, but then it makes a very interesting pivot in the story when, you throw that layer in. But that was not our starting point. Our starting point was to tell a human story.
Yeah. So, like as you said, our industry has kind of struggled, gone back and forth when it comes to LGBTQ plus representation. We have been
Right.
caricaturish, we have made it comical. As you said, we had made it broody. So, how important is it to take a step in the right direction by showing them as humane first?
I think that's the responsibility of any evolved and mature artist, yeah, to be responsible.
Yeah.
I think that's the answer.
Yeah.
We were at Singapore at the film market, and one of the feedbacks we got, and there were people like, Mark Bashir is someone who's commented on the film, who's loved the film. He's an Oscar-winning producer, and he said, "I am surprised." He's been on the jury of the biggest film festivals in the world, and he said, "I am so surprised that nobody has ever thought of looking at friendship from this point of view." You've had films about two men, you've had a Brokeback Mountain, you've had lots of films about two women, but there's never been a story anywhere, not just in India, I'm saying anywhere, that discovers friendship between a gay man and a lesbian woman. And he was like, that in itself is such an interesting takeoff point. We are just very grateful that we have got the chance and we've tried to do something new. We may please some people, we may not please some people, but the truth is that our intent has been to tell a very human story. And it's been a challenge, yes.
Yeah. So, talking about pleasing people, currently in our country, there's kind of a sensitive environment when it comes to especially Bollywood. And at such a time, representing homosexuality in your film, do you have any apprehensions about maybe it might offend some people, as there's a kind of very safeguarding approach towards the culture presently in the political scenario?
But I don't think I love India. I love everything about our country is magnificent. I think we are blessed, and I mean when I say this, we are blessed to be born here. There will always be, it's very interesting. I'm in the middle of reading our Vedas, like it's something that I always wanted to do since I was very young. And now when the lockdown started, and I started reading the Upanishads, and then I finished the Bhagavad Gita after that, and now I'm reading the Srimad Bhagavatam. And it's very interesting when you use the word culture. Historically, we as a country, and which is why I say we are very blessed as Indians to be born in this magical land. We have always been very forthcoming and open and accepting. Our culture, our roots of our culture is that, which is why in our democracy, in our constitution, secularism, freedom of speech, all these things mentioned in very clear terms. So I function from a very, I am not very active on social media. I don't try to read too much, do too much. मैंने शांति से अच्छे साफ सुथरी अच्छी फिल्म बनाई है, and I will hope that people see from that point of view. And if somebody has a bone to pick, then I'm sorry in advance. But the idea is I trust our audience. Our audiences have really evolved. And look at my films. Like if you look at LSD, for example, it dealt with honor killing. If you look at Chauranga, again, Chauranga dealt with the caste system. So I've been very lucky to be part of these kind of narratives. Ye Hai Bakrapur dealt with a goat whose name was Shahrukh. And yes, there will always be a considerable amount of backlash to some things, but that should not stop us as artists to speak the truth.
True.
And I think I have faith and I trust our audience. And I think that's the last thing that comes to my mind.
Okay. Yeah. So many actors in the past have kind of apprehended from portraying a gay character on screen, and times have changed, obviously.
Right,
And many times people
right,
accustom the reason to be that the Indian audience is not ready to accept a leading man as a romantic interest after they have played a gay character. But you have now played a gay character. Have you noticed any such difference as the industry perceives you?
I don't know what the industry perceives me as. Yeah,
Okay.
I really don't. Like I said, I stay at my house.
Hmm.
I don't go out much, so I don't.
Hmm.
And I say this very often that
Hmm.
I want people to remember my characters. My trip in life is not for you to remember Anshuman because Anshuman will die someday.
Yeah.
The characters that I have played will
Hmm.
live forever.
Yeah.
So if I can do justice to them,
Hmm.
and if you are convinced, that's why when I walk out somewhere, I was flying to America last year in November,
Hmm.
and the custom officer, when I put my mask down, he
Hmm.
jumped up and he said, "Arey, Rajaram Bhaiya," and then the whole custom, all the counters they came.
Yeah.
And they tripped because they said your love story in this show is mind blowing and we've loved
Hmm.
it, and so they were calling me Rajaram, and I am happy when that happens. Versus, uh, I don't have any. Yeah, I keep it simple. Yeah, my job is to act,
Hmm.
and act is to live the character. And if I can do that convincingly for you since very young, I don't worry about who thinks what because everybody will have their own ideas about things.
Yeah.
When I was offered a gay character, I was excited because being a heterosexual man, I saw it as a challenge to explore a part of me that is in reality unexplored. I mean,
Hmm.
so for me, the excitement was in creating something honest.
Hmm.
I think that's what actors should do. They should get out of their comfort zone. They should take the hard choices.
Yeah.
And good actors do that. Uh, Failing, succeeding is a secondary thing, but at least attempting to do something is the first step.
Yeah.
So I hope the industry welcomes the character and doesn't bracket me.
Yeah.
And if they do, then I hope they make a lot of LGBTQ films and cast me. I'm totally okay. Within the community, there are lots of different kind of characters that I can
Yeah.
play. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Okay. Being an actor, you choose scripts that you get from, but as a producer, you get
Right.
to choose what stories you want to tell. So has it kind of liberated
Correct.
you in the terms of stories that you put forward?
Oh, majorly. Because
Hmm.
thank you for asking me this because this is actually a very good question. It's majorly liberated me because I can, they say beggars can't be choosers. I am a beggar who chooses.
Hmm.
So, and I think production has given me that sort of liberty where I can pick scripts that I believe in. So when you see Mona Darling, I wanted to tell a social media story, and Mona Darling was actually written before Friend Request and Social Network came out, even internationally. It's a 2012 script. These films only came in 2015, and then we finally released it in 17. We made it in 16 and released in 17. So the idea is to say high concept things which excite me, but humane stories again. Even in Mona, the whole equation between the college campus students was something that I have experienced when I was in college. With Hum Bhi Akele again, I wanted to tell a universal, and it's funny. Hum Bhi Akele की story मुझे न्यूयॉर्क में हरीश सर ने एक टैक्सी राइड में पहली बार सुनाई थी, JFK एयरपोर्ट से न्यूयॉर्क के होटल के बीच में.
Yeah.
And the moment he said, if you'll play it, I'll develop it. I said, I'll play it, just develop it because I love the story. So definitely, to answer your question, it has freedom. It has also given me a lot of headache because now I have to honestly like right now after I finish all these, I have to parallelly do 10 other things, and especially now with the pandemic, with the manpower, lack of manpower. But I'm only grateful there. As when I was a kid in Allahabad from a middle class family, I could never even think of. So I'm very grateful to people who back me, who back my vision, and yeah.
Okay. So you are turning director with Lord Karzo Ki Haveli. So what is the progress on that
Yeah.
film? And what about your other future?
Yeah, we were going to shoot in London in March and April last year, and then pandemic struck, so we had to sub booking, visa, sab ho gaya tha, and then so now, and you know how bad things were in UK,
Yeah.
and now the travel to UK, and I can't shoot that film anywhere other than the UK. So that film has to be made. It will be made in UK,
Yeah.
and it will be made with the cast that I want, which is Rasika Arjun and
Yeah.
Aurum, and so August September is the plan, but भगवान भरोसे अभी जब तक चीजें ठीक नहीं होती.
Yeah. And what about your other future projects? What are you doing?
I have Midnight Delhi, which is ready, which is with the censors if they pass it. I have a web show which I have done, which I've just finished shooting. That's going to be out.
Yeah.
And I have the second season of Mastram, which will go on the floor as soon as all this settles down.
Okay.
So, yeah, slow and steady. But right now, all the focus is on Hum Bhi Akele, Tum Bhi Akele. And
Yeah.
I want to know what you think of Makash. So please
Yeah.
watch it.
Yeah. So this is the last question for you. Last year something good happened. Yeah. So last year something good happened with you. You got engaged.
Right.
So congratulations
Yes.
on that. So what
Thank
are
you.
the wedding plans for now? On hold or something?
Well-
Are you figuring something?
She's flying in today. She's taken a flight from America yesterday because from tomorrow flights are shutting down. So
Okay.
she was there for the world premiere in New York, and she is very graceful, and I'm very grateful to her that she's coming. हमने सोचा अगर लॉक होना है तो साथ में ही लॉक होते हैं.
Yeah.
So she's tonight, so I'm very happy that she's coming, and
Hmm.
everything's happened very organically. Yeah, we've not planned. I don't live my life like that.
Yeah.
So when it has to happen, when the pandemic settles down, when everything
Hmm.
settles down, my mother had met her and had given her blessing, so we know that we're together, and everything else is just an external stamp. So I'm just very grateful.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. But thank you so much, Anshuman. Can't wait to see Hum Bhi
Thank you.
Akele, Tum Bhi Akele. The premise is
Thank you.
great, and I can't to see how it kind of changes the world for the better. So thank you so much.
I hope conversations begin. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Anshuman.